Ah, the Italian MX-5. Indeed, though that's Italian as in built in Japan, by Mazda, on the MX-5 platform. Fiat's new 124 Spider does, however, feature unique, Italian-designed exterior sheet metal and a familiar Italian-built turbocharged multi-air 1.4 engine up front, mounted longitudinally and driving the rear wheels through a 6-speed manual. A 6-speed auto will follow. In essence, then, the Fiat's an alternative, an arguably more grown-up way in which to enjoy the light, compact and fundamentally sweet MX-5 chassis. The 124's styling is classical, with more retro cues than the edgy, modern Mazda, while the interior trim is from the drawer above the MX-5's, and the turbocharged engine has torque and mid-range where the naturally aspirated Japanese engine is all soaring revs and flirting with the limiter. Pricier than the Mazda, though. A little, though the list prices are broadly comparable. 124 prices start at £19,545 for the No Toys Classica. Move up to Lusso and you get an infotainment system as standard, 17-inch wheels, heated seats, parking sensors and some chrome and silver trinkets. Top spec £23,295 Lusso Plus adds LED lamps, a Bose sound system and adaptive headlights. Unlike the Mazda there's only one engine option, and you can't have a limited slip differential. Drifting through hairpins or wafting along the coast road? Fiat isn't putting figures to its take on the perfect roadster chassis setup, insisting it paid the MX-5 no mind and cracked straight on with building a car that drove like a Fiat, whatever that means. And while the 124 and MX-5 were developed in parallel, with input from Italians at Fiat and Abarth, the 124 uses unique spring, damper, roll bar, steering and stability control settings. While the Abarth version features a sport button, the 124 does not, though you can deactivate the stability control. On the road the Fiat feels similar to the standard MX-5 chassis tune. The ride is good, dealing admirably with some pretty distressed Italian roads. The steering is as light, intuitive and responsive as you'd hope. There's a little roll and pitch as you up the pace, but the Fiat's body control feels marginally better resolved than the Mazda's, with less tendency to roll, particularly at the rear, when you really throw the front end into a corner. In general then it's business as usual for this chassis, communicative, forgiving, up for mischief, if you can find tight enough corners, and great fun. I bet you miss the Mazda's turbo-free top end though, right? Yes and no. For some, the 1.5-liter Mazda motor will remain the more desirable engine option, for its purity of response and the zinging rush that accompanies the last 2,000 revolutions per minute on the rev counter. But the Fiat engine's a pleasant thing, smooth, tractable from just over 2,000 revolutions per minute and strong enough to keep the chassis interested. Ultimately it gives you options where the Mazda can't. Work the Turbo 4 for all it's worth, working the delicious balance of the car with a smile on your face, or short shift, drive lazy and potter along with your elbow in the door and the sun on your skin. Either way the roof is as per the Mazda, a folding soft top you can drop or raise in a smidge over 3 seconds, and the 6-speed manual, with Fiat-specific ratios and internals, is accurate, fast and satisfying. Nice thing to be in? Definitely. The exterior design is more successful in the metal than it looks in pictures, particularly in darker colors. Choose red and you're guaranteed thumbs up approval from girls on scooters and leathery-faced old men in tractors. Inside little effort's been wasted trying to disguise the Mazda beneath. So you get a decent infotainment system with an iDrive-style controller, optional, a snug but sound driving position, reach adjustment for the wheel is still sadly absent, and a small but serviceable 140-liter boot. The trim's undoubtedly plusher than the Mazda's though, choose tobacco leather and the cozy little cockpit feels almost opulent. Verdict: a very likable, keenly priced roadster that feels sufficiently differentiated from its Japanese sibling to warrant investigation and a test drive. It's not better, just different, a more grown-up and refined alternative to the torque-light but arguably purer Mazda. Whichever way you go that chassis, lightweight, keen and superbly balanced, remains the star of the show. And, whisper it, the Italians might just have come up with the best version of it.